Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the performance of the physical Syn Shenron in DBZ Dokkan battle, and we're going to see just how difficult or how good he is at 100%, considering he's also obviously received his EZA. Now, physical Omega Shenron, or the Syn Shenron, apologies, EZA'd around 2 years ago, but he EZA'd before the difficulty spike with Red Zone. And Red Zone acted as kind of a soft reset for the game, whereby every unit basically before Red Zone didn't really exist or have usability in Red Zone, which places Syn Shenron in a very difficult position. However, he is a very exceptional ESBR and SBR choice, and I just want to kind of talk about him as part of the build of the week, and just because I kind of like him. I think he's a unit that's really cool and has a fairly good purpose. I use him in Ultimate Clash all the time. You'll use him in SBR and ESBR. I even use him in like type-based challenges and things like that. So he's a physical type lead of a key +3 HP attack and defense of 100%. He raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and greatly lowers defense. He gives all enemies defense of -50%, which is incredibly useful in ESBR and SBR, and he has attack and defense of 100%. You'll gain defense and chance of performing a critical hit of 7% per GT boss's category ally on the team, and if you obtain 7 or more key spheres, he will fire a guaranteed critical hit, which is pretty good. He has Brutal Beatdown, Fear and Faith, Big Bad Bosses, GT, Shadow Dragons, and Fierce Battle as his links. That is only 6 links. He was one of those units that was back in the day with only 6 links. And he's on Shadow Dragon Saga, Inhuman, Deeds, and GT bosses. So overall, not on a huge amount of categories, but a pretty good looking unit, I would say, in general, that does a pretty decent job overall. One thing about him that he does have is a very strong link set. Much like all Omega Shenron and Syn Shenron units, they have a very, 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 very strong link set. So if you look at things like Big Bad Bosses, GT, Shadow Dragons, these are all huge links that if you link level them, will give you a very, very, very good performance overall. So yeah, in general, he's just a very strong, very impressive performing unit. And I think, for me at least, I find him to be really, really, really solid. I think at most, what I'd probably say is when it comes down to it, Syn Shenron is a unit that has very good capabilities for ESBR and SBR. He debuffs the enemy quite sizably, and this enables a lot of the rest of the Shadow Dragons team. If you look at the Shadow Legions LR, if you look at Oceana Shenron, a lot of them activate certain parts of their passives when the enemy is in an attack down or defense down state. So we're looking at him here, 140k defense, by the way. Really not bad, considering he will raise his attack and defense on super. That means he is sitting at roughly 170k after super, and also, he will gain defense should we link level him. So you could get this guy to around 200k, I think, with relatively good ease. Not to mention, he already has a base standard 35% crit chance. He's looking really solid. I do suggest you build him into full additional. The reason being is he already has a pretty good baseline crit if you run him on the GT bosses or Shadow Dragons team, which kind of leads you with 35%, which I think is really good. 42%. So I think that's good enough, and I think running him with additionals is better. You can manifest better chance of the crit. You can also, of course, raise his defense twice, which is very important and pivotal to him running very well. So yeah, I would say overall there's definitely a good incentive to understanding just how good he can be. And this is probably a very good situation for him. 162,000 defense, very, very solid. Remember, that's going to go up with the super attack. We have a decent chance for additionals. We have a 42% chance for crit. And yeah, we're just sitting in a very solid position, I would say. Yeah, very, very low attack stats. But the crit chance is really where we're banking on with these attack stats. That's probably the only downside to him, because his attack stat is quite low. It is pretty difficult for him to essentially, have a huge amount of offensive power or output if he doesn't get crits. Like, the crits are very pivotal to how well he does as a unit and how well he does overall. So I would say, if you're looking at him as an offensive unit, he's not really there, but as a decent floating debuffing rotation for ESBR and SBR, he's really solid. And even within things like Virtual Ultimate Clash, I find him to be a very reliable unit, very self-sufficient unit that just kind of does everything he needs and doesn't really have that much of an issue. Like, is he going to blow your mind? Probably not. Is he going to let you down? Also probably not. And I think he's really solid. As I mentioned before, there is room and scope for him to grow. If you take a look at his link sets, Fear and Faith gives him some additional debuffing to the enemy, which means in total he'll be debuffing them by like 60% defense, which is pretty crazy. And if you look at the rest of the links, they all scale really, really well with link leveling. Bang Bosses obviously gives them 25% attack and defense, start of turn. GT gains another 10% attack and defense. Shadow Dragons gains 20% defense. So if you were just to gain these 3 links to link level 10, that's already 55% defense to add on to what he's getting, right now. So he'd be much closer to the 200k threshold pretty handily. So he's looking pretty good. I think also you have to measure how much, how much he grows off of his supers. Like, if you put him full additional, give him additional equipment, giving him a decent chance at additional supering, and his defense could end up in like the 250-60k range, which for a unit that was pre-red zone release was a very solid unit. Like, a very, very, very solid unit. And like I said, he has very good strengths for ESBR and SBR with his debuffing skills. And yes, his damage output appears low, but if he gets crits, he can still do some pretty decent damage. He's not going to blow anyone's mind, but 2 crits of 2 million or 2.2 million is pretty solid stuff. It's not crazy, but it's pretty good. The guaranteed criticals also helps him out a little bit as well. But yeah, overall I'd say he's a unit that's in a solid position and is a very solid option. He links well with the Mega Shenrons, which is to be expected. And he does link well with Janemba units, but unfortunately can't really link with those. But yeah, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and let me know what you think about physical Syn Shenron. But that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.